Hey, by doing, I guess, not what was expected of you, you've become the this kind of beloved, iconic figure already.
Really?
Was that by chance or just by? Are you a mad genius who knows how to career build better than anybody else, or is this just?
Um, I really am guided by a few principles or ideas.
Mm-hmm.
As an actor,
Mm-hmm.
I have come to understand movies to be, a director's medium, which
Mm-hmm.
means that um, I'm very open to collaboration now, and it
Mm-hmm.
means that I only work with people who I believe in
Mm-hmm.
because I have more faith in them now than I did when I was a younger actor. And so
Hmm.
really I'm trying to when I sign on to a movie I'm trying to help a director achieve his or her vision.
So when you started, was it was a more of a
Yeah,
stressful?
I didn't know. It was I was going about it in the wrong way. I was trying
Mm-hmm.
to almost in my own screwed up way like
Mm-hmm.
trying to direct the movie as an actor and that
Mm-hmm.
just makes everybody unhappy. Instead of saying, okay, I believe in what this person is doing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a part of it.
So was
Right?
that because of training or because of your natural disposition or being young or?
Oh, early on, yeah, it was a combination of a lot of things. I was kind of told that there are no actors directors anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and that as an actor, you need to direct yourself, and nobody's going to understand the
Mm-hmm.
acting process, um, and that's so wrong. So,
You're allowed to say bullshit if you want.
oh, really?
Yes, it's the internet. You're
That's
allowed to
yeah,
say
that's,
anything you want.
that's bullshit.
But you, I mean, but there are a lot of actors I think who still feel that way, or at least certainly actors who do a lot of Hollywood movies who kind of feel like they have to come on the set and protect themselves and.
I figure like because I just was at film school, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like I know what it's like to be a director. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have so much on your plate. To have an actor who doesn't believe in the project or is
Mm-hmm.
like acting defensively or something,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a drag. You just
Mm-hmm.
want people there that are gonna work with you,
Right.
from the costume designer to the production designer to
Mm-hmm.
the writer to the actors. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you want everybody kind of working towards the same goal. Of course, everybody can bring his or her own ideas or
Right.
special flavor to the mix,
Mm-hmm.
but you all kind of want to be on the same page as far as what
Mm-hmm.
what that mix is.
So is your first thing with a project casting the director at this point? Is that what I'm getting?
I think so. I mean, I'll look at a direct like I have my favorite directors, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think all of those directors can direct any movie. So
Right.
if he or she is like directing a movie I just think they're completely wrong for, I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, I'll do it. I mean,
Right.
there's some that I just say, hey, they might direct the worst, like Robert Altman. Like,
Right.
I worked with him once, but like he could have done anything. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to do a movie about birthday clowns or
Right.
whatever. That'd be
And
fine.
sometimes he did.
Yeah, and so uh,
It's like Pineapple Express, the director. He's just known for smoking endlessly around somewhere.
yeah, no, he was not shy about his pot smoking. He actually made a documentary about rolling joints.
Yeah.
Um, uh, and so I have that as far as the acting, and
Right.
then I just came to a point where I figured, well, if that's the way I'm going to approach movies,
Mm-hmm.
then I also want to be able to have some other things that I do where I'm not trying to serve someone else's vision. That
Mm-hmm.
I have the space to pursue my own ideas or
Mm-hmm.
work out my own ideas. And
Mm-hmm.
so, um, although my school career has become something that people ask me about in the press,
Mm-hmm.
it's actually a fairly private thing, and the
Right.
goals there are actually very private, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
and it's the learning is something that I get, and it's
Right.
not really about. I have no need to kind of promote my
Right.
schooling.
Is it just surreal that people are so interested in that at this point? Are you getting Gawker stalked
Surreal.
every day?
Uh, no. No. It's just it's I don't know. It's not anything.
Do you like the attention? I mean, do you care about the attention that you get in terms of being James as opposed to being an active performance or whatever you did? I mean, is that whole paparazzi
It's
element?
actually not. It's actually not really a problem. You know, I just go to school and nobody really bothers me at school. It's just. Let me think. I don't know. It's not an issue.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So 127 hours. You first got a script. You get a call from Danny. How did that all get started for you?
Yeah. Danny wanted to meet. He sent me a script. It was a very early version. He had actually gone to Simon Beaufoy, and Simon said, "There's no way you can make this into a movie," and he turned Danny down. So Danny wrote the original draft, and it was about 80 pages because there's much less dialogue in this movie than in a normal movie.
Right.
And I met with Danny. I thought it was a very good meeting. He is now telling people that he thought I was stoned in that first meeting.
Nice.
I was in the middle of school, so I was very tired. I'll say that. I was not stoned. And I think it went very well until towards the end I was a little too honest, I guess. I always think, it's better to be honest in those meetings. And I said, we were talking about the script, and I didn't want to be called out on like not knowing something. And I said, I'd read the whole thing, but I said, I'm a little shaky on the end, just so you know. And I think that was like, I shouldn't have been honest at that point. I probably could have faked it.
You told him his child was a little ugly. At the
well,
end, or?
no, I just said I just was honest. Like I haven't studied this, as much as I could. I probably could have guessed, like, I guess what happens.
Yeah.
So, so then I heard, like, the next night he was having dinner with some other actor, so I thought, oh, I didn't have it. And then I lost the role. And then, which was fine, it was like, because I've kind of understanding also, like, if a director doesn't want me or doesn't think I'm right for a movie, it's like, I don't want it. Like,
right.
I know in most cases it's not personal. It's just like I'm not right for the part. So I thought, oh, okay, I guess I'm not right. And then 2 days later, he asked me to fly to L.A. to read for him, and he gave me a page-long speech, a lot of dialogue, and he didn't give me any. He didn't give it to me beforehand. He just gave it to me like right there. And because I had done General Hospital and I was having to memorize 70, 80 pages a day on that speech was like no problem. Memorized it in 10 minutes, and then I read it twice, and that was it. I got the role.
So, is auditioning a similar muscle group to doing a soap opera?
No, I'm just saying I was able to memorize that material that in like 10 minutes that normally probably would take a lot longer. I would say, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's how long it should take. I don't know.
So, do you think performing a character like this how much do you think it relies on you being you, or whatever energy that you bring to it, versus the subtle nuances of the performance? I mean, obviously there's a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of detail, but we're also spending an enormous amount of time with this guy alone, with his feelings and his image, and you kind of have to fall in love with that guy.
Well, like I said, on a film, I look to the director, and I believe I can only have one director. And so when Danny told me how he wanted to approach this film and how he wanted me to approach the role, I listened to him. So he wanted me to meet with Aaron Ralston extensively beforehand, learn everything I could from Aaron, but that when we shot, it would be more, it was a performance more from the inside out, that he would put me through certain paces so that I would have my own experience, that I wasn't trying to slavishly recreate all the nuances of Aaron's behavior, but instead he would put me in situations that were close enough to Aaron's, short of really cutting my own arm off, so that I could have my own experience. And so I guess in that sense, maybe you do get a lot of me. And I know, one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons that he did want me is that he liked Pineapple Express, and I think I felt very early on that he was very interested in a comedic side to this role. That it was very important to balance out the intensity of some of the material, and to get the audience on board with the character early on. And comedy, a lot of people maybe underestimate how effective comedy can be, in getting an audience on the character side. And so I without him even saying that, I felt like I knew he wanted a lot of that. So I guess if that's me, whatever that goofiness is, or any of that, that's in there too.
Well, it's a movie that would be hard to deconstruct quickly. You'd have to kind of watch it 2 or 3 times to figure out all those nuances of when he uses comedy to diffuse the tension, or when he because it's such a tense and intense experience. Whether you're laughing or screaming.
The other thing is, a lot of Aaron's friends who have seen the movie come up to me and say, or tell Aaron that, oh wow, he got you in that moment. Oh, that's so you in that moment. And so part of it was just that enough of Aaron kind of wore off on me just from the beginning, meeting with him before we shot, and then just going through those experiences too, so that we hit those points without actually having to specifically aim or set up just for that moment, but that we'd get to Aaron's kind of behavior in an organic way.
Did you have any kind of relationship with these kinds of activities when you started this process?
As far as mountain climbing or that
or
kind of thing?
bike, the bike running and the.
I mean,
you're a city guy mostly, or?
I'm an urban guy. I did go to some mountain climbing to climbing gyms and that kind of thing, but
right. You can climb a wall on the Upper West Side now, can you? It's like on 61st Street.
Oh, I think so. I didn't do that, but I went to a gym in Manhattan. But the character gets trapped pretty early on, so this isn't the movie about climbing a 14,000-foot peak.